Stinktooth. My name is Fleetus, and you know what? I'm pretty sick of you.
Come on. One last race, Fleetus. Winner takes all.
All of what?
The glory! And maybe ladies.
Okay, just one.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to an extra part of the Brutal Legend Let's Play that I've been doing, that I have finished actually. In this part, I'm going to show off all the artifacts of Legend and this last race here, which is located in a dark spot of the map that I didn't actually go to, but this race, it can be a little tough, and it's because of these bridges here that I'm just going over. There's two of them, and if Fleetus is on your ass, he will knock you off those and you'll have to restart them, and that is the toughest part of this race. Yeah, see, I've got it now. As soon as you get past that part, it's easy. But this is the last race. There's not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, I think you can actually access this one earlier. I just didn't. I forgot to. I actually thought I was going to miss that checkpoint there and have to do it all over again. And there was a lot I had to keep doing over and over and over for this part. It's only going to come over to 11 minutes or so, but it's an extra part just showing off some things that I missed. Obviously, I'm not going to show off all the little things I missed because that would take way too much time, all those bound serpents and crap. But hey, the race is done, so let's see what we get out of it.
Screw this! Look, you win, okay? The honor code of my people says I have to give you something. Here, take it. Don't gloat.
So for doing that, we get Squealer Sauce, which is basically the best nitro in the game. Not that you really need it now,
Hey,
but...
thanks, Fleetus.
Well, the honor code of my people also says that someday I have to take revenge.
Oh
That's
dear
okay.
God!
I know you, it'll be very slow in coming.
Well, that was horrifying. Let's go on to the legends. The first one here is located a little bit south of the beer tree. And this one I could have actually gotten earlier, way earlier. I just missed it. So let's see what we got here. Coiled Remains. Oh, and I missed 5 of these. Well, 4 technically, since the 5th only opens after you beat the game.
But Tainted Coil never comprehended the Titan's instructions. They were too consumed with their feelings of abandonment and betrayal. How could their masters leave them alone? Where had they gone? They searched the entire world, but the only trace of the Titans they ever found was a single shred of a single nail from a single toe of their old masters. They worshipped the Master's nail and tried to reanimate it with dark and bloody rituals. But all they could create was small replicas of the Titans, creatures no bigger than themselves, whose very size mocked the Coil's failure. And that is how the Tainted Coil came to create and immediately despise the race of man.
You heard it here first. Men were created by demons worshipping toenails. We got 4 more. This one is up in the wintry place. And I missed this one. This is the last one I found in my very first playthrough. But you find this just before the first Tainted Coil, or not Tainted Coil, Drowning Doom stage battle.
Humanity was enslaved by the Coil and suffered their cruelty for ages until a leader emerged and led the humans in rebellion. He made them into an army, taught them to make weapons, cars, and clothing from the natural world. The man they called Ragnarok was so effective, the desperate Coil broke the seal on the Sea of Black Tears, knowing the allure and danger it had for humans. Those who drank first, intoxicated with power, renamed their uprising the Black Tear Rebellion. But madness eventually turned human against human and tore the movement apart. Ragnarok never gave in to the sorrow, and he alone survived. His rebellion crushed, he set off on one final mission to assassinate the tainted Emperor. He was never seen again.
If you look closely in there, you could see some somewhat familiar faces in the crowd there with Ragnarok. Now also here, I wasn't sure if I showed this off or not, but because it is red, so that means I have probably viewed it before, but let's take a look at this monument and we will see that it is Ragnarok holding up a eyeball head thing. Very cool monument though. Alright, this one was a bit of a pain to find. Remember where I found the Zeppelin solo? Well, if you drive off the cliff here like I did, which you don't have to do, there is a road as you can see, you can find the next artifact of legend right here. So, let's give this one a look. Abomination Overdrive.
To ensure their dominance over the world forever, the Tainted Coil decided to hunt down the so-called future generations and take back the wealth of knowledge so unfairly bequeathed to them by the Titans. They performed a 10-year ceremony of orgy and sacrifice that culminated with a gross perversion of time that sent their emperor and most bloodthirsty warrior forward to the age of modern man. Along with the emperor, they sent a small idol of Ormagoden, which would return the traveler if a blood offering were made into its mouth.
Looks familiar to me.
They also sent a small cadre of the emperor's slaves, not knowing that among them hid a murderous stowaway.
Everything's starting to come together now. The next part's going to explain a lot, so we will just wait for this to fade out. And the next one, as this was during the last escort mission, so obviously we couldn't have gotten it, but you just have to go back a little bit and go to it. It's not a hard one to find. So this is part 12, the last one you can get before the game is over. Maggots devour the corpse of hope.
When Sukoria arrived in the modern age, she made a horrible discovery. The future belonged to humans, not demons. They were the inheritors of the Titan's legacy, and their civilized world drained her of her spirit, her bloodlust, and her will to live. She could not return a failure, so she released her slaves and retired in defeat to a hidden cave. The stowaway, Ragnarok, stayed with her to complete his mission, but he could not bring himself to kill the pitiful once great warrior. Instead, he took care of her, and they became companions. Far away from their old world and its ancient battles, prejudices, and taboos, an intimacy developed, and then a coupling, and then, miraculously, a child. Its birth left Sukoria lifeless, and Ragnarok took the child out of the cave and raised him in the age of modern man, never telling him of his forbidden ancestry.
We all know how it came to be now, how Eddie was born, and that he's not in an alternate dimension, but he is actually in the past. Anyway, there is one more here, and this one you can only get after the game is over because it's in the Black Tier stage battle area. And obviously this place isn't open until those battles are done, and when those battles are done, the game is over. So here we go, the very last part, part 13 of the Artifacts Legend, the Roadie.
Ragnarok lived out the rest of his life in peace. And when he passed, his son Edward found the idol of Ormagoden in his attic mistaking it for a belt buckle. He wore it to remember his father, but when an accident let his blood fall into the beast's mouth, the spirit of Ormagoten was summoned, and the fire beast took Edward back in time to the Age of Metal. There he found that his combination of Rhodey's skills and demon blood allowed him, and him alone, to complete his father's mission. To slay the Demon Emperor, push back the flood of black tears, and fight for the freedom of his people and the glory of their metal.
There we have it. Bookends. The story is over, the legend has been told. So there we have it. That is the last of Brutal Legend that we're going to see. Now, obviously there are some other Easter eggs out there, and one reason why I decided to do this today, you might have saw that that there in the top upper left corner of the screen, sometimes there was a dime sitting there. Well, today, on the day of the recording, December 8th, it is the anniversary of the death of Pantera's guitarist, Dimebag Darrell, who was shot on stage by a mentally insane Marine or Army man, I can't remember exactly. The point is he was shot on stage and killed, which is definitely a sad way to go. I mean, you hear of rock stars dying of overdoses and stuff like that. Dimebag got shot on stage. That sucks. But there we have it, Brutal Legend. As for other Easter eggs out there, once you finish the game, you can visit the rest of your army and your crew. They're in various places across the map. I know Ophelia's on a hill somewhere, and you can go make out with her. Mangus is in the Bladehenge camp. He's standing on top of the giant sword, and if you look through one of the viewpoints, you can see him standing there. Lita is in the cemetery, and you can go mourn her loss of Lars with her. The Killmaster's up on his hill, and you can go drink with him and his buddies. The Fire Baron and the Zalia leader, Rima I think her name is, I can't remember, I never really cared about the Zalia. You can find them in the forest somewhere. I think they're together, but I can't remember too much. They were one of the least interesting parts. And if you go to the beach, you can party with your crew, like the Headbangers, the Razor Girls, the Bouncers. I think that's about it that's down there. No, the Roadies are there too. But that's about it. As you go around the map, you can encounter Tainted Coil in some areas and Drowning Doom in others. You can go around and finish all the side missions and stuff, get 100% completion, all that jazz. The game is fun. It's got a multiplayer component, and I wish I had some people to play with, but I'd be really bad at it. I was really bad at it during this playthrough. Something during the credits, the song that plays is Never Say Die by Black Sabbath, which it was the only song that I called. As soon as I saw the soundtrack for this game, I'm just like, Never Say Die, that's going to be the credits song. And, yeah, it sounds like a credits song. It's very uplifting. Not like Black Sabbath at all, especially Ozzy-era Black Sabbath, because it is sung by Ozzy. But I believe that is about everything I wanted to touch on here. So this is Brutal Legend, or that was Brutal Legend. This is the extra part. And this is completely done with. Dead Rising, I have all the footage done, so it's going to be coming up over the next week or so. Or next couple weeks, definitely next couple weeks. And Fire Emblem's coming along. I've still got a few parts of that to upload before I'm out of footage. And I do believe that is everything, so I will leave you guys with this. Brutal Legend is over. Look forward to more Dead Rising and Fire Emblem. And something else will be coming up soon. I have something in mind starting when winter starts. When winter really starts. It's minus 40 up here, but I mean when the season actually starts. So until then, take care.